Welcome to the Crypto Prism channel. Today, let's first take a look at some real market data from the crypto market. Last week, Bitcoin slowly rebounded, moving up and down again and again. But overall, Wall Street ETF fund flows still showed more outflows than inflows. The second point you asked me about is this. Will Bitcoin suddenly go crazy and surge right now? I don't think it will rise that much. As I often tell everyone, if you want to go long, it's more advantageous to enter when funding rates are negative or close to zero. Even if you're trading short term, when we open the 1-hour chart, you'll see similar situations. Let me use this segment as an example. Price moves up. People get scared it might drop to 88,000, then it pushes up to 89,000. Okay, funding rates turn positive. And then it sells off over the weekend. After that sell-off, funding rates drop again. And then price moves back up. So let me put it this way. When you want to go long, and you see funding rates already close to around 0.01, which is a normal level, then you should open a smaller position or even not enter at all. And when you want to go short, if you see funding rates close to negative, then you should not enter it either. There's another point. As Christmas approaches, banks and investment institutions in Europe and the US have already started taking holidays early. So Bitcoin is entering a pre-holiday mode, and the broader financial markets are likely to move into a dull consolidation phase. You need to keep a close eye on those price zones where large numbers of traders tend to get liquidated. Make sure your positions or your stop-loss levels are not placed too close to those areas. Now let's move into our candlestick analysis and first look at the weekly chart. On the weekly time frame, what we're seeing now is consolidation after a sharp drop. As we mentioned in previous videos. There was a daily level high volume stabilization here. After that, it's very likely to turn into range-bound channel movement. There's a technical point I want to talk about. If we draw the Fibonacci retracement from the top down to the 0.618 level, you'll notice the trendline area is also very close to 0.618. The trend line on both sides is close to 0.618. This 0.618 level is roughly around 90,722. The first thing you need to note is that this 0.618 level sits near the trendline. Second, when price approaches this 0.618 level, it also aligns with the midpoint of the rising channel. Okay, so this level is indeed something that bears really need to pay attention to. What you must watch carefully is whether the trend line produces a false breakout. If we look at shorter time frames, price could move in this kind of way. A so-called false breakout, the best kind, is when you see price break upward, and then a single candle engulfs many previous candles and immediately turns bearish. This type of false breakout is something you need to watch closely this week. From the bull's perspective, if you want to turn bullish, after a breakout of the trend line, then we need to clearly see a very textbook structure. For example, a breakout followed by a pullback candle that breaks above the previous high. Only then can you look for bullish structures. Otherwise, don't try. Because even if price really does move higher, the 97,000 area is still a very good level to look for short opportunities. My thinking is this. I don't necessarily go long on a breakout here, but I will short a false breakout. So how do we define a good false breakout? Let's look at the 4-hour chart again. From this base area, if price pushes up and then a single 4-hour candle smashes straight through 87,500, that would be very clean. It would signal a rapid sell-off. Okay, so be prepared with two scenarios. There's another situation as well. When you're trading, you must pay attention to whether price is just grinding sideways across the trend line. If it grinds sideways through the line, then that line has no real market consensus, which means future price action will likely be very boring. Even if it breaks the trend line, it will still be ranging. With Christmas coming up, if you really see price drifting sideways across the trend line, then maybe it's a good time to give yourself a break. All right, that's all for today's video. If you haven't followed the channel yet, please subscribe. See you in the next episode.